Hey everyone, welcome back to the Crafting Corner. I'm Chelsea and I got something fun for us to do today. We're going to be doing ball in a cup. I have two different ways that we're going to be doing this today. We could do it with paint or we can do it with markers. Something fun you could do while sitting around at home or walking around. I like to walk around and just do it absent-mindedly. It's fun and hand-eye coordination. Now, the materials that you're going to need today is from the little kit that we did in one of our giveaways. So, in it you have the cone, a piece of string or wool yarn in one color, our little styrofoam ball, and the materials that you're going to need from home is a pencil, some glue, and either paint or markers. Now, to begin this, we're going to design our cone. I would recommend having a piece of paper underneath if you're using the paints and even the markers because you don't want to get where you're working dirty. Now we're going to design the cone. Let's go with a swirl effect. Something fun. I'm just going to go swirl around in a few different places. I'm going to color in and paint with my material. I'm going to take a marker afterwards and outline this so you can see what I did versus what you could do. And this is why we do pencil, because sometimes we don't give enough room for other things. So we're going to do that, this, there we go. Take my marker so you could see the design I have done. Outline this. Let's see. You could do any design you want of any colors. I'm using the rainbow today because I want to show you that both the markers and the paint both work just as well on this. So that way you're not worrying about the fact that you don't have the same materials that I do. Okay? So we have just a random loop and swirl. Any direction, just something fun. You could do your name or draw little pictures, smiley faces, shapes, whatever you want. This is yours. So, just like this, I did a diagonal pattern of my rainbow here, and I did a left to right stripe pattern on this one with paint. So we're going to put these back to the side, and we're going to begin painting. I'm going to do half of this in paint and half of this in marker. So I'll start with the paint with some red. I recommend having your paints on something other than the table in case the paintbrush falls off from your little palette that you're using, so that way you don't get your table dirty. So let's begin. Just gonna pick a random spot here, fill it in. You can paint over the lines because these were just to show you where you're gonna paint in. The less paint, the better, because it'll dry faster and you'll be able to use this faster. Okay. As you could tell from a few different things, I really enjoy rainbows. Why? Well, I can't pick a real favorite color. I do enjoy the color purple, maybe a little bit more, but I want to show you guys that every color is something that you can use. Okay, almost done with the red here. If you have any globs of paint, just spread them out because you don't need more paint if you have a big glob of it already. Like I said, a little goes a long way. And don't forget to paint the inside rim here a little bit. Okay, now we're done with our red. If you have any spots that you missed, you can always come back and do another layer if you'd like. Okay, so I'm gonna come back, grab this orange next. If you only have a few paints at home, or you're only able to maybe purchase a few, I would recommend getting red, yellow, and blue. Those are your primary colors, so you can mix any color that you want with them. Like this orange that I have here, I mix a drop or two of red with a good amount of yellow. Red is a very, very strong color when mixing paint, so you want to use only a little bit at a time, because you can always add more paint, but you can't always take it away. This purple was blue and a couple more drops of red, because blue is a little bit of a darker color. You want the red in there to brighten it up a bit. And if you have white, a couple drops of that to lighten it up. You can add white to any of these and make them pastel. So I'm gonna grab just the orange, and we're gonna go here with it. Go over my line here because I don't need it to stay in place. I don't need that outline. Orange is such a pretty color. It reminds me of sunsets and flowers. Oranges, I really love oranges. When I was little, I was really obsessed with oranges, to the point where my mom would buy, I would buy like 10 and I would go through them in 2 days. I would just eat them as a snack over and over again. Mom was not happy because they were supposed to be for everyone. Don't forget to paint the top piece here. I'm actually gonna go in real quick because I wanna add another loop or two. So before I paint this bottom section, I'm gonna actually add another loop here. And no, I'll add one here too. You can always go back and edit your design as you see, because it's yours to take and make. So we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna do one more color with the paint after this, and then the rest in marker, because I want this to be multi-medium. When you're doing art, medium is the material in which you're painting or creating with. Right now, our media, we're doing mixed media because we're using both cardboard and string and other things, as well as paint. If you were doing just paint on a canvas, it would just be a wall painting, and it would be considered a painting based on the type of paint you're using, whether acrylic, water, tempera, or gouache, depending on. That's a very, I would say, niche paint to use. Less is more with the paint. Spread it out, dries faster. Okay. Done with the orange. Next to the yellow, which I'm gonna do right here in this little spot. You could even finger paint this if you really, really want to. That might be a fun idea to try if you are willing to wash your hands a lot in between. Or even if not, you could probably use nail polish if that's something you have at home. I'm not gonna do that today because I don't have any nail polish here, and it's easier just to use this paint. There we go, done with the yellow. Now, let's move on to our markers. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna go with green, and my green is gonna go right down here. And the markers lay nicely. If you turn your marker on its side, you have a wider area to color with. use the fine tip to get around those edges of your outline near the paint. You don't want to dip your marker in the paint, or else your marker will get dried out at that tip. Now the markers will dry a lot faster than the paint itself, but while the marker is wet, you can still get it on your fingers. I did that just to show you. Thankfully, Crayola is washable. Washable markers are recommended to use. You most likely have gotten these at one of our giveaways, which if you have not, you can go to the Linden website, Linden Recreation, and find out where you can get one, be part of one of our next giveaways, and come get some wonderful materials to do some wonderful crafts with our wonderful craft specialists. Okay, almost done coloring in this section. Okay, we have green done, and you can also get this bottom ring too with whatever color is in that section. Green goes to here, so color only that part green, just that bottom ring. Put it down. And go for blue, that's next in the rainbow. And the blue section is gonna be this one right here. You remember, use the tip to get around those edges. Okay. Edge, edge, edge. Don't want to mix the orange and blue. Orange and blue is a fun color combination. I see it and I smile. It's very a neutral color combo, but it's a really good one. Cool colors and warm colors. There we go. And now, last one is purple. You can put fingers in whatever side is easiest for you to hold it by, color or paint. Just be careful where you're doing it, so you might have to wash your hands afterwards, which is why, once again, recommendation using washable markers and or paint. Oh, see, I got some on my finger. That's okay. This. Use that tiny tip for the edge. Color. Almost done. Little bit left. Okay, and then we're just gonna color that rim again. And that's it. Our cone is now fully colored. We're gonna put it to the side slightly so it can fully dry. Next, we're gonna color our little ball. In both of these, I did a different version of that, with the ball being painted with this one and colored in with a marker with this one, a black marker and black paint. You can see the difference in it. The paint covers the styrofoam a little better, well, a lot better than the marker does on this one, but you can see all the little chunks of the styrofoam in this one, which kind of looks cool, kind of like, I don't know, a weird rock, or you're gonna go cool kind of planet if you're going for a planetary theme. If you want to do a starry night, now that would be cool, a starry night ball in a cup. I'm gonna do a half paint, half marker again on this blank one here to show you what I mean. Put these back to the side. Before we paint the ball though, we're gonna pick a spot, take your pencil again, and you're just gonna poke it into it. you want to go about halfway of your pencil tip. This is where also we're going to stick the string so it'll attach to the cone. Okay? And this will make painting it or coloring it much easier so you don't get paint or marker all over your fingers. So I did the first 3 colors on this with the red, orange, and yellow with paint on the cone. So for the ball, I'm going to use green, blue, and purple. And then I'll use red, orange, and yellow with the marker. So you know what, we'll start with the marker with red, orange, and yellow. What design are we gonna do? I think I'm just gonna do a top-down, just spiral-esque. Not spiral, but almost like a beach ball. Every section has a different color. So drawing one line down for red. I know we're gonna do, oops, that's the wrong color. Orange, go about the same distance away, create a little high piece. Orange, down. Yellow. I'm gonna outline this all with marker, so that way I know where I'm going to paint and or color in with marker later. Green. As you see, the red and the green are both the straight line down. You could also use a black marker to make this out. So you would do a whole line down the middle in black and do a line going diagonally up and a line going diagonally down. The blue and the orange will now be the same as if they were a line down. So draw that around, meeting down at your pencil. And purple, which meets up with the yellow. All the way around and down. So now we have that. Go back to my red, and I'm gonna color this little pie piece in here with you guys so you could see. Now the marker will take a bit to dry on this, which is why we're doing this on the pencil once again, because this is not an absorbent material for it, so it'll dry just on top. Take our orange. Next piece, you could do this any design. Maybe you can color this with some grays and make it a moon if you're doing the starry night. Yellow if you want to do a beach theme for a sun, or if you do like a bunch of fruit bushes, you can make this an orange or an apple, blueberry. You can theme, if you're doing a scene or a theme for your cone, you can use this to add to that theme, almost as if it's like a little keychain per se. Okay, yellow. Get that top piece. There you go. So we've done our first 3 colors with red, orange, and yellow. They're still drying, and you can see the styrofoam underneath it still. So now we're going to go to our next 3 with the paint. Woo. Green is next. Go very, very light with these. You don't need a lot on the styrofoam ball. If you didn't draw your lines with enough space, you can go slightly over the other section of your marker pieces. Small brush strokes make life easy. Okay, we're done with the green. Next is our blue. Dab off a little bit of paint because we don't need a lot. Be careful when you're painting next to another painted piece because you don't want to mix the colors too much. If you'd like to mix them at the edge where they meet, you could do that for a nice blended effect. Okay, last color is purple. Okay, last color is purple. This purple I made a little bit darker than the purple that we have on our marker, but I kind of like darker purples. Okay, so that is fully painted. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna use this cone over here to hold on to the pencil so it dries without rolling all around and making a big mess. I'm actually gonna go back to my cone, and this is dry now. And I'm actually gonna draw some designs in these little loops here. Maybe I'm just gonna draw a couple stars or do a couple dots to fill in the space. So just take a black marker or whatever marker you have, or even a pencil, and we're just gonna draw some stars, a heart, maybe just a smiley face. Do some dots. You can design each of these little sections with different things, so it kind of looks like a cohesive art piece. Oh, this would have been cool if I did a watermelon for summertime, because you do the black marker on an angle. It kind of looks like watermelon seeds, like that. This one is going to just be a bunch of X's. Oh, they kind of look like fish. I should have done that in the blue. It looks like just a down, around, and there is how I did that. Bunch of hearts. Add a few more stars in the red. And now I've put stuff in every single one of these. Okay? And we'll be back once this dries, because you need this dry for our next step. Okay, so now we're back. This is fully dried. I like the way that looks a lot. So now we're gonna glue our ball to our string. So we're gonna remove the pencil. We no longer need it to hold it in place. We're gonna get our glue. You wanna just put a tiny, tiny drop of glue in there. Tap it a little, let it sink to the bottom. Grab an end of your string, put it near the hole. And you're gonna use your pencil to actually push it in there. Put just a little bit of it in there. Let it mix with some of the glue. You could add another tiny, tiny drop. Don't need a lot. Just want it to saturate the string so it sticks to the styrofoam. Okay, that with the pencil. The best thing about a pencil is that no matter how much paint or glue you get on it, you can always sharpen it and it'll be good as new. Okay, so now that we have that glued in there, we're gonna glue our string to our cone. Now, you could either glue it up top like I did here, or if you want even more of a challenge, you can glue it to the bottom to try and land the ball up top. Wherever you glue the string, the opposite side is where you're going to catch the ball. but I'm gonna glue it up top to catch it in here with you guys. Now I found the best method is to actually take the end of your string and actually make it fray a little bit. So there's more for the glue to stick to on the inside, so it has a bit of a stronger hold. So all I'm doing is ripping apart the threads just a little bit, just to widen them. Okay, we're gonna take our glue, do a teeny drop on the inside of the cone here, just a little drop. Put the string right on it. You can either use your fingers to do this. I'm gonna go back to the pencil and use that to put the string into the glue. I want that to stick and be on there. And because we frayed our edge a little bit, it will stick a lot better. I did this to the other two I have sitting here, and it holds really strong. Now, school glue takes a bit to dry. If you have hot glue at home, you can use it on this part. Do not use hot glue on this, it can melt it. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry to the side, but I'm gonna show you that with the same method, that both of these do work, and we'll have our ball in a cup. So let's catch that. See if I can get it. Oh, I almost had it on that first try. The best method to do this is to bring the ball up, and instead of trying to just land it in the cup, use the cup to try and catch it and scoop it up. There are these made out of wood that you can find in stores, but this also is just fun to just try and get. See, I got it. Let's do it with the one that's made with paint. The paint actually makes the ball a little heavier, just slightly. Up and around. Ta-da! And that's our ball in a cup. I hope you have tons of fun with this. Even after a little bit, even though this isn't fully dry, I think it'll still work for just a little bit because this isn't the heaviest thing. See? First try. How many times in a row can you get this without missing? I hope you enjoyed this today, and I'll see you next time at our lovely crafting corner. Bye!